Hello, it's your girl Michelle Hope Walker. Welcome to Michelle Hope Walker Speaks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to talk about something that I briefly heard in the news today because they went over it so quickly that you really couldn't get all the details. I'm like, But anyway, so it was in relation to Whitney Houston's death and the police officers or the detectives or they found her something about, I guess, one detective, a police officer, said something derogatory towards Whitney Houston's body or something of the sort. And so the officer reported it. So sort of like a whistleblower type thing. But now from understanding, the police officer is getting threats for reporting his coworker, a fellow police officer. So this is what I'm talking about. Because, see, that's why I keep telling you all, not all cops are bad. So I know as we look at Michael Brown, Eric Gardner's, and the list could go on. But we got to remember, not all cops are bad cops. Matter of fact, I believe majority of them are good cops. But what this led me to think about is that's why it has to be some type of cushion set up that when officers see that their co-worker, they're all police officers, and they see that another police officer is doing something not right, they need to be able to comfortably report their co-worker without fear of retaliation coming back on them. See, that's the challenge that I have when the police department, the police officers are so knit together that even when they know one is doing wrong, they will not report that one. And it's not that some of them don't want to report them. Some of them do want to report their partners or report the other fellow officer that they know is racist, or they know that's mistreating a particular culture, or doing some stuff they don't have no business doing. But it's hard for them because then they can get retaliated on, and harassed. And so somewhere in these police departments, I really am calling on seeing that gets worked out. Because, if you're a good police officer and you see that your partner is doing something they don't have no business doing, or being racist or discriminatory or racially profiling type behavior, that police officer should be able to report their partner, report whatever other police officer it is that they work with, be able to have, they can report this person safely without fear of retaliation. Without fear of, they a snitch or this and that. Because they tell the people out in the public, be a snitch. Tell us what happened so we can help. But then we got to look at that inside police departments. Police officers need to be able to tell on other police officers. And I don't really like the word snitch because that sounds like, they doing a bad thing. No, it's not a bad thing to tell that somebody's doing something wrong. Because if you see that someone is doing something wrong, and you just allowing them, not saying that, it's almost like you are helping that person do wrong. Because you see that they're not treating people fairly. You see that, because I've seen where sometimes you see cops together, one partner is very calm, he don't, ready to, he don't just jump at conclusions so quick. But he does what a police officer does, gather information, get the details, assess the situation. But then every once in a while you see, but the other partner, he trigger happy. He ready to pull out guns, ready to just, come at you negatively. You haven't even done anything wrong. Matter of fact, you the one that called to tell on somebody else. And then they badgering you, type thing, So I really want to see that, and I pray for this officer that did stand up and reported, whatever the officer was doing wrong or saying about Whitney Houston's body, or whatever, how the scene looked. I think that's good that he reported that. And I pray for you that God see what you've done. And that was a good thing. We have to know at the end of the day, God is in control. At the end of this, so we never have to feel like we helpless and, oh my gosh, people just going to be able to run all over us all the time. No, because God sees everything. And God is not going to let those that are trying to do right just, harm and stuff keep coming to them. He's not going to let that happen. So, and God loves us all. So even to those officers that you're doing wrong, because some of them tend to say, oh, they always getting on us like we doing something we don't even do. And then they the main one that's ready to get out and shoot to kill a minority, especially an African American, So, we just pray for the police department as a whole, but most definitely, I guess sometimes they call it whistleblower. We need to have more cushions for them in the police department. Because I think a lot of officers are afraid to tell other officers. And we don't want that to be. Because really, a lot of time, if the officer that works with that other police officer already seen that particular police officer was racist, was doing things that were not right, planting stuff on people and all this other stuff, and if the fellow officer felt comfortable to report that officer and knew that something was going to be done, knew that officer would get reprimanded, he or she. And also, they would not have to worry about being retaliated on. I really believe the police department can clean itself out because they work with each other all day long. They know who is doing what. And shame on you all that cover up stuff. I know that's your partner. I know that's who you work with. But still, that's public money. Police officers are paid by public tax money. That's public money. And we're trusting the police department to protect us. Not kill us, but to protect us. And so if you are helping to cover up an officer that is doing wrong, that they just particularly pick poor neighborhoods and just go pick on homeless people and just do, they do purposely. Report them. So, just listen to that, like I said, because I have a heart out for a police officer. Like I said, my brother's a police officer. I went out to be a police officer, made a list, and one of the towns I lived in, and so I have a heart. And my thing was about, helping to serve. I mean, now I look more at law, and attorney, the legal side of it to really help in society. But so I respect police officers. I go to my police officer meetings where I live at whenever I can. When I see police officers, I give them compliments because I don't want them to think that because everything's going on that we don't appreciate what they're doing, because we do. It's not them, it's the ones that are, the bad ones. Let's just say it, the bad ones, because there are some bad ones. But I just keep feeling, too, that the police department can pretty much shake down and screen out and weed out them bad ones, because they know. They know. And I know you all say, well, since it's state or federal or, there's a certain process a police officer got to go through. Okay, but then pull them off the street. At least take them off the street and put them on desk duty. As soon as you hear about they being racist, they, when they stop people, they come at them in a very aggressive, harassing way, because, I always looked at, if I became a police officer, I'm going to respect people. Even if I have to stop them, I'm, sir, or ma'am, I just need to see your license. Respect. Not, oh, you this and that. Come up name calling people or just start grabbing people. I mean, and they're not even doing nothing. They listen and doing what you tell them to do, but for whatever reason, some officers just feel like they got to reach out and touch. Even when you handcuffing a person, if you just tell them, they'll put their hand behind their back and let you go ahead and cuff them. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure some you have to grab or figure out, if they're resisting, but, so again, though, back to this Whitney situation, which really, again, has me putting that plea out there for police officers. To be able to tell on another police officer without being harassed or retaliated on. Because I can't even imagine what it would be like to know you got a partner or you are clearly aware of a fellow police officer that is doing wrong, mistreating the public, doing some crimes they self, and you see this and know this, and you want to report it, but you don't think nothing will be done, and then you fear for your life if you report it. Now, I think LAPD may have cleared up a lot more now, but I remember back in the day, around the Tupac, the Biggie thing, and I think one officer did go to jail for something, or I don't know, but then they say he just ended up being the one blamed for it, and it was more officers involved. But that at one time they used to say that the LAPD was like a gang. I remember one time when I was going out for them, and I had passed it. I had passed the psychological, I had passed the written test, I think we had to do a physical. But then after a while, I'm like, well, I mean, a gang, a street gang, that's one thing, but not that I want to join the street gang either, but I'm just saying, but then a police gang, the LAPD, the police got a lot of power. So if you're a police officer and your fellow co-workers come after you with all the power that they had to be able to get in your business, and if they really want to be manipulative, that is a scary thing. That is a scary thing, and I'm gonna say it. Even the guy that was police officer and now he shouldn't have killed people, I think he Warner, I can't even think his name now, but I don't know, I just felt my spirit with him that something didn't go right with him, but he handled it the wrong way. My thing is always note take, legal yourself up, get you some attorneys. Some of y'all police officers, when you get ready to tell on another officer, get you an attorney. Get you an attorney for just in case. Then all of a sudden your managers and supervisors start trying to mess with you because you told on another officer. So I believe in taking notes. You take the time and the date when stuff happened. Get you an attorney so you have your backup plan. But you don't have to hurt people. I don't believe in hurting people, or I don't believe in solving stuff sinning. If somebody else have already done wrong, two wrongs don't make a right. You want to try and do it right. And I know sometimes some people are like, oh, but they're getting over on me. But don't worry about that. God see all that. You just stay loving and kind. And I know that's not always easy, but still, you just stay loving and kind, doing what you're supposed to be doing, the best of your ability. And God see all. God see all. And people just can't mistreat people and just think that it's going to be okay, because it's not. It's not, but that's not for us to do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not, and God loves us all, so I'm not saying God is wrong, but we all know that when people do wrong, they're going to dig in themselves in the hole. One way or another, eventually, they dig in their own self in the hole. Nobody's doing nothing to them. I mean, you can only go so far with what, then it's sort of just you dig yourself in the hole and mess yourself up, type thing. But again, my prayer for the officers. I know it's not easy. But if you have a fellow officer that is discriminatory, there's committing crimes, there's planting stuff on people, don't be a part of that quote-unquote good old boy network that's doing wrong. You can be part of the good old boy network that's doing good and doing a job the way it's supposed to be. And I pray for you. I pray that you will report. Whoever you need to report, don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. And again, that's what I'm saying. So I want police departments to make it more easier for officers to be able to report other officers. And then for you officers that, when you see us out here marching, you're like, well, I'm one of the good ones, you keep being good. Keep being good. Keep doing your job to the best of your ability. Just, it shines. It shines. It shines. And we see it. But as with anything, you got to have a movement sometime to get things changed. You know what I'm saying? And so, we do our march and All Lives Matters, because we want that justice system really revamped. Because it's not even just police officers. It's what happens in the court. It's what happens in the jails. Jails are expensive now. When are they locking people up to make money? I just found out even for a person to get an aspirin in jail, it costs money. Are you for real? I think it costs more money to live in jail than it is to be out here. Because at least out here, if you're living with family, y'all can share toothpaste. Y'all can share, some stuff. A bottle of aspirin. And there, you got to pay for everything. The whole system needs to be revamped. But anyway, this is your girl, Michelle Hope Walker. You can call me at 323-338-6580. Follow me on Twitter, Hope_speaks. Google search me, Michelle Hope Walker Speaks. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Michelle Hope Walker Speaks. Officers, police officers all around the world, we love you. Woo! We love you. But we want the bad officers out. We want the ones that's discriminating, dogging people out, and not helping. We want them out. But the good ones, we want y'all to stay. The ones that's doing their job, we respect you all, and we want y'all to stay. So this is your girl, Michelle Hope Walker. Have a great day and keep doing what God called and told you to do.